Buenos dias from Gracia. This is the Rorshok Spain update from the 18th of April, 2024. Quick summary of what's going down in Spain. Kicking off this week, left-wing parties Elkarrekin Podemos, Podemos' branch in the Basque Country, and Sumar fiercely contested the last available seats in the critical battle for representation in the Basque Parliament. This is the last week of the Basque Country's regional election campaign, and currently both parties are at risk of being excluded, mirroring the recent electoral failures in Galicia. Government polls suggest that the race is tight, particularly in Álava province, where fewer votes are needed for a seat. The election's outcome hinges on winning over undecided voters, especially those who previously supported Elkarrekin Podemos in 2020, but are not so sure now. Basque regional elections will take place this Sunday, the 21st of April. Next up, the British Refugee Council, a non-governmental organization based in London, received over £2 million from a fund indirectly associated with former King Juan Carlos I of Spain. This week, a spokesperson for the organization confirmed to El País that funds were given by a trust owned by late historian and social care advocate Joaquín Romero Maura. The Joaquín Romero Maura's trust fund was established in the tax haven of Jersey, of course, but despite suspicions and investigations, there's been no concrete evidence linking Juan Carlos I to the fund since 2004. The British Refugee Council directors took more than 6 months to decide whether to accept the donation, as much mystery surrounds the origins of the fund, the former king's involvement, and Maura's true intentions. On to migration. 3 national security reports within the Spanish government have highlighted concerns over irregular migration into Spain. According to the reports, in 2023, Spain witnessed the second highest number of irregular entries into Europe, only beaten by Italy. Over 56,000 migrants entered Spain in 2023, with 99% of them entering via the sea. Figures for 2024 will probably be similar. Spain's National Maritime Security Strategy says that there's a severe risk of irregular migration, while the National Security Report focused on potentially higher risks of terrorism. Due to regional stress in the Middle East and Africa, Spain's border control forces are on higher alert. 1 month ago, Catalonia implemented regulation changes to prevent the escalation of rent prices, and despite no official statistics, complications have already come up. Catalonia applied these rental prices regulations to 140 municipalities, aimed to control rent costs under the Spanish housing law. However, many property owners are shifting to seasonal rentals to bypass regulations, and others are extending existing contracts to maintain prices, avoiding new lower rates mandated by the law. Critics have argued that this affects potential renters due to reduced supply and unrealistic prices. So far, the legislation has caused decreased rental housing supply and lower investment in property improvements, or so they say. While the rental sector suffers, hotels seem to be doing all right, according to a survey by Bristol-based CBRE or CBRE Global Real Estate Group. Spain will become the top destination for hotel investors in 2024, surpassing the UK. This shift follows a record year in Spain's tourism numbers and hospitality transactions, with investment in Spanish hotels increasing by 30% from 2023 and 70% from 2019. Key investments include acquisitions by Singapore's GIC and the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. On to children's health. The Spanish Ministry of Health is urging regional governments to enact legislation that prohibits betting houses within 100 meters of schools and colleges. This week, Mónica García, the head of the ministry, criticized some regions for prioritizing economic interests over youth protection, leading to an abusive proliferation of gambling establishments. García gave a speech on Monday the 15th where she highlighted the growing concern over non-substance addictions among youth, including gambling and excessive internet use. She said that in 2023, 5% of the population between 15 and 64 gambled online. Meanwhile, the Canary Islands will remain on pre-alert status ahead of rising temperatures throughout April. The General Directorate of Emergencies of the Canary Islands announced the update after following advice from IMET, Spain's Met office. From Wednesday the 17th, IMET forecasted the temperatures that they would reach between 28 and 32 degrees Celsius, which is around 80 to 89 Fahrenheit, particularly on the western and southern islands. The region continues to experience higher than usual temperatures for this period, along with dry conditions and episodes of storms. The islands are essentially experiencing a mini heat wave due to a strong high-pressure system, lack of clouds, and increased sunlight. Jaume Bautha, tourism minister for the Balearic Islands, has rejected a Thaib Restaurant Association's proposal for temporarily suspending new bars and restaurants in Mallorca in the Balearic Islands. Alfonso Robedo, the association's president, advocated for the suspension as a way to enhance quality and ensure a diversity of businesses, expressing concern that excessive numbers of bars and restaurants could transform streets into nighttime-only areas, meaning these areas could become rowdy and attract unwanted activities like binge drinking. Despite this, Bautha expressed commitment to collaborating with the restaurant sector to boost quality and suggest that new quality certifications might be incorporated into the forthcoming tourism law. Other news, the Burgos City Council in Castilla y León plans to clear overgrown green areas in response to concerns about a supposed snake infestation. This decision comes after images of several viper snakes circulated online, stirring public fear. Local environmental councilor has scheduled an urgent meeting with local firefighters, police, and health officials to develop a protocol for dealing with these snakes that are a protected species. The situation has sparked a flurry of blame and conspiracy theories, with some accusing environmentalists of releasing the snakes to support the eagle population and others criticizing unintended overgrown forest conditions that might lead to fires. Speaking of fires, on Sunday the 14th, a severe wildfire broke out in the Tarbena mountains of Alicante, Valencia, where 180 residents were evacuated. The region has been experiencing uncommonly high temperatures since last Friday, which has contributed to the fire spreading. Humid weather and dense vegetation complicated efforts by firefighters to control the blaze overnight, making the area particularly prone to fire. Spring is full of festivals. This week, between Sunday the 14th and the 20th of April, Sevilla celebrates the Feria de Abril, vibrant week-long festival held in the southwest of the city in the neighborhood of Los Remedios, with traditional music, outfits, and plenty of food. The festival offers traditional activities, sites like parades, horseback riding, daily bullfights, and parties, stretching into the early hours of the morning. At its center, there's a fairground dotted with over 1,000 tents, both private and public, and even one sponsored by political parties and trade unions. But Sevilla isn't the only one celebrating. From the 22nd to the 25th of April, the small village of Bainares de Mariola in Valencia will host the Moros and Cristianos Festival, its largest annual event. Along with much of Spain and the world, they will celebrate their patron saint, St. George, or San Jordi, or San Jorge. Apart from food, music, and costumes, a vast array of actors will act out important moments in Moorish, Christian, and Spanish history, no doubt all very culturally sensitive. The festival concludes on the 25th of April with an outdoor mass dedicated to those who have passed away. That's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. You know that besides the Spain update, we also do others. Our latest ones are the Arctic update about the area north of the Arctic Circle and the ocean update about the 70% of the world covered in salt water. The other ones are all country updates. We have a selection of countries in Africa, Asia, South America, and Europe. Check out Rorshok.com/updates to see the full list. Find the link in the show notes as well. Hasta la próxima.